Is he your husband or your pimp, girl? Because you know you're not supposed to do that. That's Pimp 101. Pimp 101. When you with your pimp, you never look another pimp or man in the eye unless you're given permission. So are you... What the fuck? Well, she is the bag. Oh, my life, be waiting for you. Look how you do. Well, hello there, love bugs. Hello there, babies. If you have not already done so, please remember to like, share, subscribe, and tip your favorite narrator via Cash App at $NayRob on YouTube. Additionally, membership is low. Please, y'all, if you're not contributing via Cash App, please consider being a book club member. Either here on the YouTube by pushing that join button or over there on the Patreon. The paying club members already know what the next book is. All right. Now, with all that being said, we are wrapping Mary Wilson's book up. Forgive me, y'all. Y'all know that I have two Frenchies. They've been at daycare probably 3 days in a row. I think it is two nights, 3 days, something like that. So they are tired. If you hear snoring, charge it to them damn Frenchies, not to my heart. Sherry, Cindy, and I were outdoors in a nearby garden posing for a magazine cover where someone told me that my son and Pedro's sister were at Flip's party. I ran up to the suite, grabbed Willie and Melvina, and told them they had to leave immediately. The whole time I looked over my shoulder, hoping Flip didn't see me. Girl, Flip Wilson is a Sagittarian man, and they don't give a fuck about your punk-ass husband. You ain't going nowhere. Even though you over there with another man, you still belong to him. He don't care nothing about your bitch-ass husband. As I was saying, he don't give a shit about your bitch-ass husband. F your husband. The only person scared of him is you, girl. We were almost out the door when Flip approached us. He was very happy to see me, but all I could think about was getting out before Pedro showed up or someone there saw us. I knew Pedro would go crazy if he found out I'd seen Flip. Flip didn't understand why I acted so strangely. I think his feelings were hurt. No, he just don't give a fuck about pandering Pedro. That's only you who's scared of Pedro, not him. He don't care about no Pedro. That night, Pedro came home and gave me the 3rd degree, asking over and over where I'd been that day, what I'd done. I'm a poor liar, and Pedro knew this. He questioned Malvina, or Malvina, I might be saying the name wrong. He questioned Malvina, and she told him the truth. So he immediately assumed that I'd gone up there to see Flip, to sleep with him. That's the part that makes me think that Mary Wilson's elevator don't go all the way to the top. Why in the would you grab the children? All you had to do was just leave. It's like she kind of inviting the drama. You don't see the problem with you grabbing the children that came with Pedro? And then on top of that, that's his sister. Although you feed, clothe, and pay for the girl's tuition, that's Pedro's sister. Why would she lie? For you. He questioned Malvina, and she told him the truth. So he immediately assumed that I'd gone up there to see Flip, to sleep with him. Pedro went out, came in late, and the next morning announced, now you and Flip can be together. I'm filing for divorce, and I'll get custody of Turquesa too. Silly as it sounds now, I took his threats seriously. Although my mother had raised me with many old-fashioned ideas about sex and men, I had disregarded much of her advice. After all, this was a new era. I was never ashamed of how I conducted my life or my relationships, but some deep-seated residual guilt left over from my upbringing seeped into my consciousness. Pedro's paranoid obsession with my non-existent affairs escalated over the years, so that before long I was afraid to look any man in the eye. Is he your husband or your pimp, girl? Because you know you're not supposed to do that. That's Pimp 101. Pimp 101. When you with your pimp, you never look another pimp or man in the eye unless you're given permission. So are you... Well, she is the bag. I rarely left the house alone, and if I did, I had to report my every move. My baby and my work were the only escapes from my prison of fear. I had lost most of my friends. Either Pedro had scared them away or they felt uncomfortable witnessing the abuse. Pedro's power over me was complete. You can be presumed guilty for only so long before you begin to act and feel guilty. Yeah, because if you want me to, cheat on you, motherfucker, I will. By late summer, Pedro had made headway with some of Motown's top people, especially Suzanne DePaz, who then headed the creative division. Of course, she put forth the most effort on the Supreme's behalf. Suzanne saw to it that we got good material, the best photographers, and so on. And she and Pedro worked well together. Are they fucking? Pedro tried to ingratiate himself with the labels higher up, sending flowers to their secretaries, for example. Well, is he only sending flowers? Or is he sending dick? He began, and I wouldn't be surprised if he was flirting with the secretaries. And the secretaries knew who he was. Oh, that's Murray's husband. He don't respect her. If she get out of line, he just smack her around. I would not be surprised because Murray is so out of it, and I'm not belittling her for it, because when you're in it, it's easier said than done. Trust me. When you're in an abusive relationship, I've never been in a physically abusive relationship, but I have definitely been in a mentally abusive relationship where gaslighting was right there in your face, okay? And it's easily said than done. Leaving a relationship is easier said than done, man. There's so many factors involved, you can't even get it. He began believing he'd turned Motown around. Pedro thought it would be great to throw a dinner for Suzanne and Abner. He invited other guests, rented tables, and got me to cook a lavish buffet-style dinner. I knew these people were just playing with him. They weren't going to show up, and I told him so. Sadly, I was right. The company line, one that many Motown historians and journalists have accepted unquestioningly, is that Pedro caused the Supreme's downfall. You allowed Pedro to be the Supreme's downfall. Because I can be just as stupid, and I have been just as stupid as Murray, but when it comes down to my business, I don't play about nothing. You hear me? Nothing. Pedro badgered me until I relented. Patching up things between Diana and me was important to him. Frankly, I was surprised and very touched when she accepted the invitation to be Turquessa's godmother. In 1979, when Turquessa was 4 years old, she was baptized at St. Patrick's Cathedral in New York City. Diane stood as her godmother and Herb Avery became her godfather. In early September, we took our new act to England, where the press roundly criticized us for being too slick. The British had tired of us too. It seemed, and He's My Man did not even chart there. Making this all the more frustrating was that even our sharpest critics made a point of mentioning how much better we looked and sounded. There was something about our presentation, our approach, us, I guess, that missed the mark. They are out of the country over there in England, child, and they are ripping their asses apart. The people over there see that things are not cohesive and they are wearing their ass out over there. Just as we were leaving for the States, our European Motown affiliate asked that we stay an extra week to do more radio and television shows. Everyone's nerves were shot and some of our musicians got angry and left. Cindy and Sherry complained bitterly that Pedro was disorganized and never told them anything until the last minute. I don't even want to be bothered with disorganized motherfuckers. I'd like to know my schedule at work because I'm PRN a month in advance. All right? A month, maybe 2 months in advance. Telling me, calling me up, hey, I need you downstairs tomorrow morning. Bullshit the baker. Not me. I don't work like that. The only thing that keeps me in order at this age, y'all, and I'm going to admit I am slipping. Physically, baby, I don't know why my goddamn back been killing me. It's probably because I've been picking up this wild beast of a dog, the baby, trying to keep him under the control, okay? But the only thing that keeps me effective at this age is organization. Everyone's nerves were shot and some of our musicians got angry and left. Cindy and Sherry complained bitterly that Pedro was disorganized and never told them anything until the last minute. For example, we were scheduled to perform at the Shupert Theater in Los Angeles towards the end of the month. And Pedro hadn't bothered to tell Cindy and Sherry that we were giving a benefit performance for which none of us would be paid. They were upset, and understandably so. Everything was coming apart. When I mentioned these problems to Pedro, he always snapped, "Sing, and don't worry about the business." But I have to worry with these people. You cannot do things behind everyone's back, including mine. Pedro ignored me unless he was lecturing me on what I was doing wrong. During this trip, he complained a lot about our love life. This was our first performance in Los Angeles in nearly 3 years, so we were psyched. Moments before we went on, Pedro informed me that Diane was in the audience and that I should introduce her, which I did. She received a thunderous ovation. I still hadn't fully recuperated my energy, and the show really knocked me out. Because remember, she's coming from that Europe tour. Now, let me tell you what this crazed, deranged lady did, okay? This is where I say Pisces. I'm a Libra, Sun, Pisces, Moon, where I say we can be a bit delusional, okay? And we can be grander in our mind than what we really are. Any rate, she had given all of her assistants and all the people backstage strict instructions to not let anyone back there to see us until we get ourselves together. No sooner did I sit down than I heard a knock, and in walked Diane. Now she is upset with Diane because Diane didn't give her the courtesy of getting herself together first after the show. Is Murray Wilson crazy? Is this bitch deranged? You never gave Diana Ross the courtesy of getting herself together before you popped up on her backstage. You didn't give her the same courtesy that you expected. And now she mad at Diane. Diane know better. She do. That's why I'm like, that goddamn Murray Wilson is a nut. Pedro insisted that I go straight home and skip the after show party, which of course he attended with Cindy, Sherry, and assorted other guests, including Gladys Knight, Natalie Cole, Sarah Dash, Lola Falana, Frida Payne, and a group of Motown VIPs. Girl, they laughing at him. So remember that situation that was happening? It seemed like every book we read in this era has this issue with Johannesburg, because this is the moment of apartheid, okay? And the Supremes were one of the people that went over there during apartheid, and you can't go over there and support them and sing and shuck and jive for them motherfuckers while they around here destroying blacks. You can't do that. Well, they did it. A couple of people did it. Keep in mind, they've been trying to get rid of Cindy. To them, Cindy is not holding her own. She has not lost weight. She is not taking singing lessons. Don't forget, that goddamn Sarah Dash said the bitch couldn't sing in the first place. I don't have no problems with you, Cindy. But I'm telling you, when we watched the Unsung LaBelle, Sarah Dash said that Cindy Birdsong couldn't sing in the first friggin' place. The South African tour drew Cindy and Sherry closer. Once again, I was the outsider. I needed the Supremes to be a group again, but everything was working against that, namely lack of money. Everyone knew that whatever monies we earned first went into the corporation, and that's how we paid ourselves weekly salaries, as well as musicians, assistants, travel expenses, stage wear, public relations, photographs, and various professionals like choreographers to work with us. Whatever remained at year's end was divided among us by contractually set percentages. The real cream, the only way any of us would make big money was to have a hit record. As that possibility slipped away, everyone started to become edgy. Sherry and Cindy had very different reasons for sticking with the Supremes. Sherry and I were splitting our solos pretty evenly, and while Sherry was a stunning, gifted singer, I was getting progressively better notices. Cindy, though, had changed since the last time she was in the group. Cindy seemed unhappy.